Hi there, my name is Tina Louise Spalding and I am a trance channel. Hi subscribers, I've been away for a few days, so I apologize for the break in video production. So today I'm going to channel Ananda and they are going to speak about A Course in Miracles. I've asked them to bring some short videos together so that their recommendation that the lessons of A Course in Miracles are followed to enhance your awakening process. We're looking for some explanations as to why. I have my own experience with A Course in Miracles. It turned my consciousness from one of judgment and attack to a much more loving state, and that is what has facilitated this wonderful experience that I'm having in terms of channeling and writing. So I have experienced the transformation that these lessons and these ongoing practices can bring, but we'd like to hear Ananda's take on it. So I'm going to take a single breath and Ananda will come in. They are a group consciousness and they are my guides and teachers. They help guide me through my own journey and of course bring these teachings to all of us. So I will see you at the end of the session. We're with you again, dear ones. We want you to know that your journey with us is of great import. This is our spiritual work. Just as you are incarnated in the physical body that you find yourself floundering around in sometimes, we too have an assignment, and that is to communicate at this time with your physical plane and with your apparently individual consciousnesses. They are not individual, and we will go into that a little bit in this little description of A Course in Miracles and the principles that are contained within that book. We are, of course, not the author. Jesus is the voice of A Course in Miracles, and he will speak to the subject of that book as well. But we are going to bring in some simple ideas, some introductory ideas, and you can pursue this subject more in depth if you are intrigued by it. So we will say here that this book was brought through many decades ago into your society, and it was brought into your society in an effort to change some of the fundamental beliefs about your religious system. Now you will see radical shifts happening in your Roman Catholic Church at this time. Well, many of these shifts in the church have been precipitated by the kind of information that is coming through A Course in Miracles teachings. Now, we are not saying that it is the only thing. It is not. There are many, many paths that are being followed on this journey to awakening, and whatever path feels right for you is the one that you should take. It is the one that is speaking your language. It is the one that is undoing the indoctrination, the conditioning that you have been going through in your society for a very, very long time. But for those of you that have come to these videos, for those of you that have a curiosity about the truth relating to Jesus' life, the truth about what religion is, the Christian religion in particular, that is what A Course in Miracles speaks to. Now, the language of A Course in Miracles is very challenging for many people, but what we want you to understand is that it is designed to bring up the conditioning that you have undergone in your society to mind. It is designed to bring to the surface any anger you have about the word God, or any upset that is generated by the idea of forgiveness, or any resentments that surface when you hear the word Jesus. Now, what you must understand, of course, is that these are just words. They have no power. They are little black lines on a white page that have no meaning unless you are laying meaning upon them. So if you are having very negative reactions to these particular words, it means that you have negative indoctrinations related to them. So the word Jesus, for example, we will take that word because that is the word that is being used in these teachings intentionally to bring up any negative ideas, to bring up any negative conditioning that you have received. and to bring up any fears that are in your mind related to this being. Now, if you think practically about the life that he led on earth as you understand it to be, he was a person who preached love. He was a person who preached forgiveness, and he demonstrated his loving demeanor and frequency in the working of miracles. Well, if you are feeling fear about that person, then that is not what he was teaching. So somebody else has taught you something there. It may have been a parent, it may have been a Sunday school teacher, it may have been horror movies in your modern society, it may have been the collective violent history of the structure that you know as the Roman Catholic Church. Now, we are not attacking you if you are participating in that particular religious structure, but what we want you to know is that if the idea of these words upsets you, then you have had some current association with negative teachings from the church structure, or you have had previous incarnational relationships with this what can be seen as a very attacking structure. So that is what the words are about in A Course in Miracles. On the surface, they are going to trigger your resentments, your hatreds, your fears about religion and spirituality and Jesus himself. And these are always creating in your world, remember, your beliefs generate your thoughts, and your thoughts generate your feelings. So if you have an untrue or negative belief, a fearful belief about this particular enlightened teacher that you have experienced on your plane, then they have not come from him, they have come from somewhere else. But that belief is generating thoughts, and they may be thoughts of guilt, they may be thoughts of shame, they may be thoughts of fear. And those thoughts generate feelings, and you may feel restricted, you may feel uncomfortable, anxious, or terrorized, even if you have been deeply indoctrinated into this fear-based belief system. So the texts, the words, the language that is used in A Course is very intentional. Some people get upset at it because it is very complicated. It feels complicated. Well, it is a mind stimulating and activating and redesigning program. Now, some of you become offended at the idea that your mind is being tampered with somewhat, but trust us, your mind has been tampered with for millennia. From this structure, it has been deeply indoctrinated into fear, it has been deeply indoctrinated into sexual shame and guilt, and we want you to know that there is only one way out of the negative repercussions of the training that you have all had, and that is to retrain the mind, focusing it to expansion, focusing it to love, and focusing it to forgiveness, because that is the principle that is going to free you from this old conditioning. Now, the teachings themselves take several forms. There is the text at the beginning of the book. There are 365 daily lessons, and these daily lessons are divinely inspired instructions to help you transform your what we call a contaminated mind. It is a clarification process designed to elicit peace in the mind, and as you begin to create peace in your experience, then you are able to see more clearly. When you are in an agitated, fearful state, and that is what many of you are in from your negative indoctrinations about spirituality, about Jesus, about God, then you are very, very low functioning in that sense. You have great abilities, you have great creative potential, you have great health potential, many things that are potentials in your mind. But as you are vibrating at this lower frequency that is generated by these untrue ideas in the mind, you cannot realize those future potentials, and that is why we are here. We want you to be able to connect with your own teachers and guides. You all have them. They have been assigned to you for this particular incarnation, but they are in high frequency places, let us say, although they are not in three-dimensional reality as you understand it, but they are ready and willing and are already communicating with you through your guidance system. So in a nutshell, that is what the Course in Miracles is. It is a deeply transformative process. It is a healing process. It is a loving, focused process. And we want you to know that if you are not yet ready to do that particular form of transformation, that is why we are bringing many books through this particular channel that introduce some of the concepts, some of the ideas, and they begin to expand your mind in preparation for that particular reconditioning process. So if you have the book and you've looked at it and you feel confused or overwhelmed by it, just keep it by your bedside and ask for the willingness to be open to trying it. You do not have to try it. You can just be willing to think about trying it and look at the books that this being is bringing forth. Now, other beings get upset that we are sharing these particular focuses in the form of books, that this being should not be marketing these products in a spiritual conversation, but you cannot change the mind with the mind that created it. You must bring in wisdom ideas that you do not have. You do not live in a wise society. You live in a limited, judgmental, fearful society. Just look at your newscasts. We end our argument there. So we want you to know that these books are bringing through truth, bringing through happy, expansive principles and options for you. And so they are very easy to read, accessible and fun. So we are Ananda, we are your teachers and guides too, and we will speak to you again soon. Okay, that's the basic introduction of what A Course in Miracles is, and I highly recommend it. I know lots of people, however, who have looked at it years and years ago and do not want to do it, but I ask you, if you have looked at it in the past, that perhaps now is the time. There is a love revolution happening, and it is being conducted seemingly by my guides and teachers, Ananda and Jesus. So I encourage you to join this love revolution with us. I'll talk to you again soon.